What's good, YouTube? Someone asked me why men often flaunt their money and possessions and accomplishments online. Why they make it so obvious on every page, damn near every great possession they've ever bought and every great accomplishment they've ever had. Why they lead with that. Now, for a lot of people, this is obvious, so if it is, skip this video. But basically, for anybody who hasn't figured that out, is stunting for the gram, or flaunting your possessions online, or taking pictures with your wrist out so somebody can see your watch, or showing all your cars or your shoe collection. All of these different things that guys always do online to show that they have either money or possessions that are bought by money. It's like male twerking. It's basically what it is. It's the equivalent of guys taking booty bathroom pictures backwards. It's the equivalent of guys twerking randomly in the streets for attention. It is male twerking. It is internet male twerking. Now, people twerk for a lot of different reasons. They twerk to feel beautiful. They twerk because they feel beautiful. They twerk because they're looking for attention. They're looking for validation. And men flaunt their jewelry, possessions, money, accolades for the same reasons. Some men come from broken homes. They need to feel validated in their success. So they twerk online with their pictures and they stunt for the gram with their possessions. Some men have never felt validated by women, never felt accepted by women, but they know women accept those things, those possessions, so they show them online. They do that to get attention, to get likes, to get comments, to get DMs, to get women to respond to them in their DMs, because a lot of men don't feel like they can get a woman to respond with just their conversation. And I'm not shitting on them. This is just how people move, how people operate. Women generally show off their best asset, their sexiest quality when they're taking pictures. They say, oh, don't take that picture. That's my bad side. Right? They got to get to their left side because that's when their face looks the best. Men are doing the same thing. They're basically internet twerking, or they're giving themselves the best possible chance at being accepted by the viewer of that image. Unfortunately enough, it becomes a pattern. And so if you go to somebody's page and all you see is their cars, their money, their jewelry, their possessions, their accolades, you realize very quickly that they either have security issues or they're looking for validation that they haven't experienced or were deprived of at some point in their lives. At this point, they've learned that they can control the result of their validation or of their acceptance from people by showing these things. Just like women get validation from men and learn that they can control how many men validate them and how many men accept them and come toward them with the right type of pictures. The problem is you generally are attracting a particular type of person, right? For instance, the type of man who follows mostly or only women who post backwards booty bathroom pictures and or sexy bikini pictures. Like it's never winter anywhere she's at. It's always sunny and she's always on the beach. And that's the only place she's ever going to be is on the beach with an expensive bikini. Like when guys are following women like that, they're following women like that because they desire them sexually, which is okay. That's natural. That needs to happen. That's a part of the process. But the problem is you're following men who want mostly exclusively that. Because if you're not offering anything else in your personality, then you're baiting the hook for the fish, right? Bait the hook for the fish. Sometimes you have to realize that the type of people that are following you are following the content that you're offering. And if that content is devoid of any real depth, if it doesn't talk about who you are, if it doesn't signal who you are, what you think about things, your passions, your dreams, your abilities beyond sex or beyond sexuality or beyond beauty, you're going to attract a certain type of man. So don't be surprised when you just meet fuckboys because you look like a fuck girl in some instances, only posting certain pictures. In the same way, these guys that post all of these money pictures and possession pictures, it's basically twerking for men. And they don't understand why they can't get a woman who sees them for them, or a woman who trusts, or a woman who's kind and courteous and nurturing and genuine and loyal. They get women who are generally after the bag first, and then they complain about it. They don't realize that you must bait the hook for the fish, right? You must put out the type of energy that you want to get back from a person. If all of your pictures are sexy, then you'll get sexual men. Men who lead with sexuality, men who are only concerned with or mostly concerned with sexuality. Men who post these pictures of all their watches and cars and pick anything that alludes to their status. Get very upset when women only care about their status. But that's what they're posting. That's what they're advertising. That's what they're saying their value is. People can see insecurity from a mile away. Unfortunately enough, whether you're accomplished or beautiful, you still have insecurities. And more often than not, you've broadcasted them to the world with your internet page, with your social media, with your Instagram. Be very careful what you post online, and be very careful not to establish patterns that attract the wrong type of energy. So back to the question, why guys do this? They do this because they maybe come from an impoverished background. They're very proud of who they are, what they've become. And now they want the validation that they deserved when they were young, the validation that they were deprived of, the acceptance that they were deprived of, the love that they were deprived of. They understand that this is a way to get it because it's a light. It shines a light on who you are. And it hopefully gets some DMs read. For some people, they want to be exalted above other people. They don't want to be seen as average because they felt average their whole lives, or at some point in their lives, and now they want to separate themselves from that old identity. A lot of times, this is so much more internal than we realize. It's easy to start shitting on somebody for doing something online that you don't understand, but it's always more complicated than that. These men sometimes want to be loved. They just don't know how to attract love online because online is just such a hard place to do that. Just like a lot of the women I meet, a lot of the booty bathroom models and the fashionistas and all of these women who post these really sexy pictures online that are followed predominantly by men. When I talk to them, they still want marriage, they still want love, they still want kids, they still want all of these things. They still want to be taken seriously and have a faithful, healthy, loving relationship, but they're just not projecting that. They're projecting sex girl. These men are making the same mistake, but in the way that men make it. So if you meet one of these guys, I suppose you could try to get to the bottom of why he's posting these things, why he needs that validation, that constant source of clapped hands, so to speak, or the constant likes, right? Doing it for the gram. Why you need a validation of the internet. As long as he's growing more and more secure, I suppose there's nothing wrong with it, right? There are beautiful women who twerk and who also would make good wives, but it doesn't look that way from the outside to some of us. So you don't have to understand why somebody's insecure or somebody has an insecurity or somebody's seeking validation. Just understand that they, like you, have insecurities. It's very natural. Or they have large egos, and the only way they feed their egos is through the validation, the likes, the comments, the response they get from other people. It's human nature. The one universal thing we all have in common is a need to feel important. How to Win Friends and Influence People. That book talks a lot about that universal need to feel important. People who are twerking or stunting for the gram, whatever they're doing for the gram, they're just operating in that need to feel validated and to feel important. We all have it, but we just find different ways to express it and find that validation. So anyway, I hope that helps. Follow me at KidVic24 at Instagram. I'll get with y'all later.